All right, SEC West fans, this is Rick again. Man, what a hell of a show this is, huh? Um, you can check my first show I did this year. You can check my work, and I told you both LSU and Alabama could be undefeated. I told you, and it happened. Well, they played each other, and one of them had to lose, so that's that. We're going to do a bunch of shows leading up to the game. Um, I'm going to try to get over there to Dallas. I'm in Shreveport now. I'm going to try to get to Dallas. To one of my best Alabama buddies in the world lives over there. I'm going to try to do a little two-person show with him. Um, but tonight I'm just going to give you my initial thoughts on this whole thing. Of course, I am an LSU fan. I try not to be biased, but I do sometimes. Pretty much what we have right now, this is an impossible task facing LSU. If they beat Bama on the 9th, it will be the third time in 14 months that LSU's beaten Alabama. Now, that would be hard for any team in the nation to beat any other team 3 times. I mean, but this is Alabama, and, better than that is Nick Saban. Nick Saban, I don't think's ever lost to anybody 3 times in a row. I know he didn't when he was at LSU. I'm hard pressed to think of a time when he lost twice, 2 times in a row to one coach. So, I mean, the odds, the absolute odds of LSU winning this game are very low. Just because the simple fact is 3 times in 14 months. 3 times in 14 months. I'm going back to last year, of course. But if LSU does win this game, they will be beyond a doubt the best team in college football history. Think of all the Notre Dame, USC teams, Alabama, you got to throw Bama in the mix, Nebraska, Oklahoma. Check your record books, and I hope I get a lot of emails on this, but I'm right. If LSU wins, they will be the best college football team in history. We beat 2 conference champs on the road. Well, that Oregon game was it was pretty much it was a home field advantage for LSU, really. But, I mean, it was still in Dallas, so it was a neutral field. But the way the rankings are right now, and I'm using USA Today's rankings, LSU so far has beat the currently ranked number 2 team, the currently ranked number 5 team, the currently ranked number 17. That's 3 teams in the top 10 that LSU's beaten this year, plus the number 18 team and the number 22 team. 22 is West Virginia. So, and you can check the record books. You're not going to find a team that's beat that many quality teams. And then, of course, if they do beat Bama, they'll be the number 2 team twice. Twice. So, this fact that we got to play Alabama so many times in 14 months, and there's never been a college football team in the history that's done what LSU can do now. Those 2 things decrease the odds of LSU winning even further. And then you look at a rematch. A rematch usually always goes to the loser of the first one. It's just the way it is. I mean, one team thinks they can win them, the other team thinks they can't, and the other team's more focused. And admit it, this is college football, and it's all about who's focusing. Who can bring more focus to the table? So. And then the simple fact that LSU's playing another team in their own division that they intimately know. They've been playing every year since the 1950s. You throw all that in there, and the odds of that happening, since it's never happened in history, is slim. Now, the last time I know for sure there was a rematch was that Florida State game back in, I think it was '96, and of course Florida State won the first one. Steve Spurrier and the Gators, of course, won the second one. Um, but if you look at the rematch, one thing going for LSU is that the LSU players and the coaches, they can't look at that Alabama game film and say, we beat these guys already. There's nothing left to prove. No, there's plenty of things that the Tigers can look at the game film and study and get better on, especially watching, Sam Montgomery getting knocked off of Trent Richardson a couple times and missed tackles. Even though Trent didn't get a whole lot of yards rushing against LSU. Um, and, another thing is we didn't get any pressure on AJ, and then when we did get pressure on AJ, he fouled it up. So I'd imagine LSU's going to go into the game putting more pressure on him than he was. We really didn't get any pressure on him till overtime, and you saw that one sack pretty much won the game for us. But no team, I think, can look at the statistics or the game film and say they really dominated the other. So I think, the game film provides motivation for both sides. The total yards in the first game was pretty much even. I mean, Bama had a 59-yard edge in total yards because, they had 100 more yards passing. LSU had 52 more yards rushing, so there's your 59. Penalties were even. I thought Bama was ate up with penalties at first game, but they only had 6 penalties for 73 yards, and LSU had 7 for 56. Two turnovers each, and the time of possession was even as Steven as it gets. So the classic rematch argument, if LSU would have beat Bama by 20 points the first time and totally dominated them, I'd be very worried that the Tigers were going this game overconfident. I don't think the Tigers are going to think that at all. So that takes away some of those possibilities. If there's ever a team that I would rather play for a national championship, it's Alabama. Now, a lot of LSU fans will say, well, we've already beat them, and I'm scared I don't want to play them because they're so good. Hell, they're the second best team in the country. And we barely got out of Tuscaloosa with a win. And if any other team wants to think they should be there other than Bama, then you're fooling yourselves. Oklahoma State lost to a jackass team. I mean, Iowa State. So they had no business being there. Stanford either. Oregon either. I mean, you can go down the list. Alabama deserves to be here. So y'all can shut that argument up. LSU and Bama have a great history, and I got to talk a little bit about the first road game I went as a fan was in 1982. I went to Legion Field to see LSU and Bama play, and that was the year, of course, that LSU finally beat the Bear since, it was 1969, I believe, since we beat them the first time. And that game was huge. We beat the Bear. We beat a legend. It was the last time that was the last game we played against the Bear, unfortunately, because he passed. Bama's always been my second favorite team since I can remember. I still love going to Tuscaloosa, and you see those national championship flags waving in the air. Everybody's so excited. They call it the capstone. Some might think it's pretentious to say that, but when it comes to college football, especially in the South, they are the capstone, and they've earned their name. I don't know about the Capstone School of Nursing, but that's a story for another day. They are. When it comes to college football, they are the capstone. I had a great respect for Alabama until I started listening to that damn Feinbaum show, and he's on national news. I mean, the national Sirius XM radio. So you gotta listen to him from 2 to 6 if you drive around a lot like I do. And ever since I started really listening to him and what happens, it's just they're pretty much becoming one of my least favorite teams around. When they got Saban, you had to figure Alabama was going to eventually find him a good coach one day. And they got Saban. That never was I'm a big Saban fan, and I want him to have success. And to be honest with you, if LSU does beat Bama, I'll feel kind of bad for Saban. I really will, because I don't want I want him to win championships. And then you go back to my Alabama friends. I've got so many friends that are big Alabama Roll Tide fanatics, and you can always count on them to talk football at any time of the year. They know more than any other fans. Even some girlfriends that I know are Bama fans know way more about football than most male fans of any other team. Um, but the Feinbaum show, this Phelan Jones article, when Phelan Jones was a transfer from LSU to Alabama, he got on the AL.com. There's a story on him where Phelan Jones' daddy was watching practice, and he pretty much said Phelan's learned more from this one practice than he ever learned at LSU his whole career, and it was pretty bad mouthing our coaching staff. There's several idiot callers on Feinbaum that just talk crap all day long. That just, I've had to turn off his show a number of times. Feinbaum himself, he's from a state that has Alabama and Auburn, but yet he's the biggest Alabama fan you ever seen. And then you had an article about NAL.com last year that dealt with Miles not having success, his players not making it in the NFL. And that was a big story, and all of a sudden now we got Patrick Peterson, who's probably going to be Rookie of the Year. So it just seems to me over the course of some Saban's arrival till now, Alabama fans, not my buddies, and I guess it's just that fringe that calls into the Feinbaum show and some of the news media. It's just, they've just become this monster that you want to beat. And you want to beat bad. And, even if you win by a point, you still beat them. And, I'm walking that fine line between my Alabama friends and talking a lot of crap. I guess what I need to do is call up and talk to Feinbaum if LSU does win. So it's real hard knowing my history of Alabama and what it's become. It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. Either you love the Cowboys or you hate them. And I've always grew up hating the Cowboys because I like the Steelers. And now Alabama's kind of in that mold. We're Alabama. We're going to beat you. We're the best. It's too much. And for that reason alone, for us to get the opportunity to play Alabama for a national championship with everything that's on the line, considering this can be the best team in college football history, what better way to win it in New Orleans than to beat Alabama, the capstone? Yeah, I would much rather play Oklahoma State, but if we would have played Oklahoma State and we would have won, we wouldn't be able to write our names down as the best team in college football history. Now, could we? No. So, for great rewards, there's a great challenge. And that's just the way I see it. I'm glad Alabama's here. I can't wait to see some of you guys down in New Orleans. We're going to have a good time. We're going to put some more shows on the road. I'm going to go on the road here to Dallas, hopefully, do another one. I'm not going to give a prediction yet, but I think both teams are pretty much going to bring their A game. I'm teetering now with the whole A.J. McCarron sophomore versus a senior quarterback. I don't know if I'll be able to get over that one still in this game, but there's a lot more time to think about it. Email us at secwestdudes@live.com if you disagree or agree with anything I said. And I really look forward to reading some more of your emails. I'm going to try to talk about some of the other games in the SEC, but I don't know. The schedule's kind of busy, but we'll see. Again, thanks for all the emails this year and watching and all the Twittering and YouTubes and everything else. And I'll catch y'all next time.